Hello, and thank you for listening. From the bottoms of all of our hearts, we greatly appreciate you taking time out of your day to tune in to us. This is The Room Where It Happened, a podcast made by a group of people who love playing games and telling a story together. For the first little bit, we're going to be playing in a world called Luume. The rules we're using are a combination of 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons and The Sprawl by Hamish Cameron. Luume is a world that I dreamt up and my players helped me flesh out. It's a mixing together of the dirty city life of post-industrial 1920s-esque New York or London and the invasive consumer-driven culture we see in cyberpunk worlds such as Blade Runner. It's a place where the powerful people use giant leaps in technology, in our case magic, not to make the world a better place but to turn a profit. It's a place with brick streets where rudimentary cars and horse-drawn carts compete for space, where a worker spends all day in a dirty factory and passes a dozen animated, illusionary ads for the latest trendy product on their way home. It's also an independent city-state. My directives as the game master are to make the fantasy dirty and dangerous, to give actions consequences for both me and my players, to make the big bigger and the small personal, to make it corporate and consumer-driven, and to get the players into the kind of trouble that they want to be in. There are a few major factions that our players bump up against. The guilds, my stand-in for megacorporations, are the biggest. They all have different focuses, but they do their best to drive the other ones out. There are 4 of them, the oldest of which is Elder Tower. They're stately and they're the first of all the guilds. The next is Glittering Oath, maker of luxury products and resentful of being in the shadow of Elder Tower. Keyrin Collective are young and brash, pushing as hard and as fast as they can forward. And finally is the Dust to Dust Guild, which was started after the sibling heads of Elder Tower had a falling out. The guilds control the city. Their tendrils find their way into everybody's life and into the heart of the city-state's parliament. The only thing that they agree on is that there is one true limit to power: necromancy. And in that idea, they created the Keepers, a paramilitary force consisting of all of the major religions in the city, and that stand as the protectors of the veil between life and death. We're going to pick up with our players a few sessions in. The players have made some major waves and actually have just killed one of the board members of the Keyrin Collective after he kidnapped the child of the Dust to Dust Guild's leader. We're picking up with them just after this, after they somewhat successfully escaped from the scene of the crime. Maybe we should do dropping off River with their parent first. You have River. Are you gonna? I'm
Wait a
meeting
minute.
them too. Okay.
I thought that Cora and I had River. Wait, who got
No,
River?
Seer
oh, Seer got River. Okay,
Yeah.
good.
Seer flew River out, so you guys didn't have to try and get through the cops. So
With a conspicuous elf child.
yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
now no one knows. Literally, none of the cops are like, why is everyone dead? God, Jesus.
Except these 6 guys.
Except for these 6 guys. What was special about them? So, where were we? So you guys, we'll pair you up. Where were we meeting?
Yeah, where are we meeting Hope to
yeah.
deliver River? Did we negotiate that? I'm sure
Nope.
we negotiated that.
Nope. Actually, we
Well,
have.
you guys have a way of contacting.
We have the key.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you guys can just contact them if you need.
So
to.
let's meet at my office and do this official like.
Okay.
Sweet. Okay. So we're gonna meet at Schmear's office.
You have an
Schmear.
office that's
I
at the
do.
bar?
Yeah, I know, right?
I do. I have an actual office.
What does that office look like?
Have you ever seen Maltese Falcon?
Yes.
With the office with a little apartment off to the side.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I.
Okay, so like a Jessica Jones style situation.
You come in.
Yeah.
There's a big desk, some chairs, and a couch.
Cool. Is it well kept?
Yes. The business side is.
Dubious. All right.
The business side is kept very clean.
Open the door to the bedroom, and it's
Yeah.
awful.
Okay.
And it's a dragon's nest.
A horde.
But it's all
What
based
is your,
on
what is your
actual
horde
gold.
made of, Richard?
I don't know what I want yet.
I think he's
Just
a
Precious
horde.
moments
Hey,
from your read.
Let's all be sure that we put the D on the end of horde, or else he just said, I don't know what I whore yet. And that's probably a bad time.
I feel like maybe he might be one of those like TLC hoarders. So it's just like
Everything. Anything he gets his hands on.
I just assumed it was like Scotch bottles.
He hoards empty Scotch bottles.
Yeah.
Don't ask how they
Actually,
got that way.
I am not a Scotch drinker. I'm a dark beer drinker.
Okay.
The character is very specific on that.
Okay. Fair enough.
Hence why he comes to the bar.
Yep.
So you show up there. River is super shaken. Like, this is the first time River's really had to interact with anybody. Like, they kind of passed out after having their head almost crushed by the golem.
And
Right.
knows-
And so
Understandably.
they're back awake, and they're thanking you.
it's powerful.
It's really
that would
loud.
be heavier, actually.
Important roles.
And so they thank you
Like-
and ask you. They're like, well, thank you. Who the hell are you people?
I was hired by your parent. To,
Oh, so are we
rescue
all
you.
with them?
No,
No.
just unless you guys. If somebody else wants to be there, that's fine. You're not.
Yeah, I'm not going to kick
excluded.
anyone out. But
Yeah. Schmear is the main contact with Hope, and then Seer was the one who physically flew them out of the building. So.
Okay. Since I didn't know where we were, have we already explained where we were contacted?
Well, you guys could have met up, like,
Yeah.
once you got out of the building, you guys met up somewhere, and then
Yeah. Okay, that's fine. That works.
I feel like you guys would have done that, probably. As opposed to being like, fuck it, it's been good, guys.
Really, us, we never.
You really think that's how we would have done it as opposed to fuck it? Really?
Hope you guys live till Friday.
See, okay, so River's like, who the hell are you guys? This is where we're at.
my name is Schmear. I'm a private investigator. I was hired by your parent to rescue you.
Oh, okay,
We
that
helped.
that tracks, I guess.
Yeah.
Sure.
They're subcontractors.
Yep.
Okay.
I am not a
Like they're like looking around at you guys like,
I'm
oh,
Tessa Blackmore from the posters.
And he
I'm
pulls out the
I'm not a
clipboard.
sub anything.
Get ready for
sub
this.
anything. They're just like,
Like,
okay.
you got her signature down pat.
'Cause you
now.
guys aren't like, you guys don't strike the most. Some of you strike a very imposing shape, but it's not like you guys are all pieces that look like you fit together. Lizard man in a trench coat, lady in plate armor. So
We bring many talents to the table.
She still has the corks on her horns.
yeah.
Oh.
Oh, I guess
No.
Odo's there too. Odo's there.
Odo's there.
I knew we were going into a fight. I took the corks off my horns. Those are for business situations.
Sorry. Well, you don't want to bloody the business horns.
Um,
The business horn caps?
Yes.
Odo goes through and like is like,
Agnes.
for whatever reason, like, why did Odo's kind of immediate like, because Odo needs to bounce before Hope gets here. Odo's like, listen, real quick, why did Malik kidnap you? Like, why? Like, and
Obviously, it was a bad idea, so why would you do it?
yeah, River's like, he didn't talk to me specifically a lot. Like, he wasn't like questioning me for information or anything like that. He did ask like a lot of weird questions about my parent. I don't know, like, but they weren't like what I. Listen, I'm the kid of a guild head. Getting kidnapped is a possibility, and I just sort of assumed when somebody kidnapped me, they want like company secrets or money. He didn't want any of those things. He just wanted like personal information about my parent, and I don't. It was weird because he was very calm, but also very, very aggressive about it. It's weird. It's hard to explain.
We
Turns out he was a
fought him.
barbarian,
We understand.
so
Yeah.
he had some anger management issues.
Yeah. Yes.
I mean, I
Yeah.
feel like he manages his anger very well.
Genteel but forceful.
Yeah, that was a good way to describe it. Very quickly after you guys call Hope, they show up at Schmear's office.
Odo dives out a window.
Yeah, Odo's oh god! Like as soon as you guys call.
Actually, we give Odo. I'm going to make the call. Would you like?
Yeah,
to
and Odo's like, I'll see you later.
Yeah.
Like, I would like to not end up in jail. Peace. And so very quickly, Hope gets there. Like they're both very happy to see each other. Like they have, like on a regular day-to-day basis, they have like some issues with one another, like about their things. But you know, like Hope still likes their kid. Their kid just definitely didn't want to be kidnapped. It's nice to have their parents back.
That's good.
So, so the guy who had been chauffeuring you around. Did I name him?
No.
I named him, but
I don't
I
think
did
so.
name him. I just don't remember.
Besides our fantasy oof?
Well, the guy who
No,
was-
we had
The
a
limo
driver.
driver.
We had a driver. Okay.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
I've forgotten his name.
I don't think I have it.
Timothy.
Sure.
I like a half-orc Timothy.
What's the one that
Actually, I think I named him Walker.
Maybe, I don't know.
What's the one that kept popping up last time?
Diego.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It wasn't
Diego
Diego.
was a different guy.
Yeah.
Diego was a big hyena.
Yeah,
Diego
no,
was like
we
four other
wrecked
people.
Diego's face and made him scared of us for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
So
In a town of only Diegos and Mallets.
yeah.
And one Wyatt. Walker shows up, kind of takes River off, like down to the car to keep an eye on them, and like Hope's pretty ready to get out of there, but they address him. It's like, thank you for saving my child. I greatly appreciate it. You did well. I will need to look into why they were kidnapped by Malik, but I will not make it terribly well known who saved my child for you.
That's appreciated.
We thank you for your discretion and for your prompt payment.
Yeah. Yes.
Invoice in triplicate.
Oh,
ask
your
for-
panel van was in front of the bar, but not your office, because
Yeah.
they just assumed it'd be open.
Would this be a good
Like,
time
wait, he
to-
has an
to
office?
And they're like, we will
ask
be
for
transfer,
maybe
like
a
we will be,
meter information
we will be
on
transferring.
the other case.
We will be
The
giving
whole
you
dude got
payment
murdered
first thing
and,
on
like,
Monday morning when we can
the main
make the
subplot.
withdrawal for that sum.
Mm.
I also forgot
The
that.
whole like guilds
Because I
thing.
think that we were just tipping off the crystal.
I mean,
I wrote
maybe.
down
I mean, we don't
200
want
apiece
to. We don't have
last
to tell them
time,
about
so
that,
Okay.
but we can.
whatever
Like,
that.
I mean,
Yeah.
clearly there are guild heads that are not this guy probably putting hits out on us.
Well,
It might be worthwhile. I mean, if he is considered a favorable toward us person, I don't know. I'm just saying
I mean,
options.
theoretically they would owe you a solid if they didn't just pay you a substantial amount
Okay,
of money
that's
to do
fair.
this. Not that they don't have pleasant feelings toward you.
Right.
They just
But
don't
they
feel
definitely
they owe
don't
us.
feel they don't feel like they owe you a favor because they paid you a substantial sum of money and a car.
That's
Yep.
fair. That's fair. Yeah. Yeah. Scooby wagons don't come cheap.
So,
Please think of me again for any of your discreet
yes,
investigative needs.
we'll most likely be contacting you again soon.
Excellent.
Come down to the bar sometime.
And be sure to take a pamphlet on your way out.
Also, no.
Thanks and do well.
Have a good evening. Once again, thank you. And they just kind of awkwardly turn and walk away from you. And they're gone.
Oh yeah, that's the other detail about the office. There's a small table next to the door with pamphlets about the nameless goddess.
Oh, good, sweet. It's like combination like pastor's office and private detective. Good, love it. So. Okay,
Also,
so
they
yeah.
keep mysteriously appearing in your bar.
How much money did I pay? Did I pay you guys up front?
I've
You
got
paid
200
a
here.
portion
Well, I get
of
money
the
since I
upfront.
wasn't there.
Yeah.
There was 1,000 paid up front, and then there was going to be an additional payment of 3 times that plus the van.
Okay, sweet. So
we
you'll get the money on Monday because
we
it's
got
Saturday
plenty
night.
gold.
The bank's closed.
Yeah.
We're
pretty much not wanting
Cat,
for
I don't think
money
you
at
belong
this
in there.
point.
Yeah.
Oh, you definitely don't belong in there.
Okay, so River's been returned. It's probably solidly like 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning.
I'm going to bed.
Yep.
So Schmear's gonna go to sleep, I guess.
Going back to headquarters.
Probably.
Okay.
Getting a nap.
There's
Okay.
a nice couch there if anyone wants it. Good night.
Yes.
Fucking outie.
I'm going to take Schmear up on that offer because I do not want to go home right now.
Fair enough. You don't live too far away. We've established in canon
Yeah.
that Schmear lives
I should
close.
I should probably go to the bar where I can have my alarm spell and everything set
Yeah.
up and
Yeah. So I mean, theoretically, you've got to open it tomorrow. So.
yeah.
All right. Cora is going to Waffle House.
Yeah, I don't
We're
feel like
to
going
Fantasy Waffle
home.
House.
So Odo and I are going to Waffle House.
Fancy
Cool.
Waffle House.
Where all your dreams come true.
If those
We've got to
dreams are
stop
dead.
that.
You're really good.
We have to stop doing copyrighted stuff.
I don't think that they've
I'm
copyrighted.
pretty sure that's not copywritten.
But-
I'm sorry, Griffin McElroy.
We only do it in homage to your
Yeah.
greatness or similar.
Yeah. Listen, we steal a lot of stuff from you, Griffin. We love you.
We love you guys.
No, really, we love you.
We love you so much.
Especially Travis.
I know, right?
He's the
Listen,
In a
guys,
hot
we're not going
hot
to talk
minute.
about the dreamiest daddy, Travis McElroy,
Dreamiest
right now.
daddy, Travis.
I
Um,
don't
With
know
his-
who these are.
With his polished nails and his beard and oh, geez, okay.
He's
feel good
attractive.
about
it.
Is this a
The
band?
No,
so okay, so
Blackmore
you
brothers, they-
Odo kind of like waits kind of near Seshmir's office for you guys to get done,
Okay.
and like hooks back up with
Uh-huh.
you. You guys go to so we're at Fantasy Waffle House.
Trademark.
Yeah, Odo is just kind of like got their head in their hands, just looking like they're very tired, but they also are just like too like they're combination of like way too wired to go to sleep and just fucking exhausted. Okay, so go ahead and introduce yourself.
I'm Emily, and I play Cora, the cleric politician.
Okay, so what is Cora's deal?
Her deal is that she was once a basically a desk job in the Keepers. That's what we decided, right?
Yeah.
In the Keepers, and grew tired of her job and decided to transition to something much more difficult and challenging, and got involved in politics, where she works with her current boss, Benedict General, and they work for a lot of different issues. Her biggest stance is equality amongst the races, because she is a tiefling and has faced a lot of inequality in her lifetime.
So basically in our world, I sort of established a lot of like the rules of the world based on what everyone told me they wanted their characters to do. So the tiefling sort of like resentment, it's generally one of those things where in the world tieflings are, there's only one real big taboo, and that's like demons, devils, and the undead, which is ironic because Cora went and joined the Keepers, who is an organization like specifically dedicated to stopping that thing from happening, sort of. Which is, I like that. That's one of the things I generally like about your character, is that like that embodiment of contradiction in things. Like I don't know, I like characters that subvert tropes, and so that's why like previously I hadn't thought of any sort of like, it's always it's super common in D&D for elves to hate dwarves and dwarves to be, I don't know, fucking mad at goblins, or whatever bullshit that they put in there. But the tiefling one made a lot of sense in the lore that had already sort of basically established. So, and I like the politician angle. So what is generally one of the things that like kind of keeps, I guess, Cora doing all of the wacky bullshit that y'all Scooby-Doo group do?
I think in the end of everything, generally we're not the bad guys. So
I mean, for the most part, you guys have never been the bad guys.
there's some gray area in our group for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But
Well, you are vigilantes.
Yeah, I mean,
Sort of.
we only sometimes kill people in bars without learning their names. So she is very much about peace and sees this as just another way she can help her environment. And also was previously a part of, I think she was the original organizer of the other ragtag hero group that existed for a while.
Yeah, so that's an interesting point. So go ahead and tell us about the other... So before the game started, we sort of established that at some previous point in time, there had been another weird little sort of like vigilante group of folks. And so go ahead and tell us about that.
So Cora started it because she was bored at her desk job. And she started it with actually two other... I don't know if they were in the original, but they were in it eventually with two other members of our current party, Seer and Tessa. Seer and Tessa were both in there. And they just sort of did small jobs around the city for whoever needed help. Nothing nearly as big as the party has gotten into at this point.
Right, I think we sort of established they were like a glorified neighborhood watch.
Yeah, like just people had trouble with like a random bad guy, go get the stolen thing back. Just bullshit stuff.
Right. And, but that, so we sort of established that sort of like petered out at one point when we did like our kind of like our establishing game, where I kept the party from getting paid.
Yeah, I don't think she's been involved in that. She left like at least a year or so ago from that, and I don't know if it's still going on without her, but I don't think Tessa and Seer are still involved.
No, I think we established that once your character left, it sort of fell apart because a couple of your NPCs that we've established have had tertiary connections to that as well.
Gotcha.
And so probably the other big important thing with Tessa is direct connection to Odo and one of the other organizations in our world.
Yes, the Sands Party. So
Odo, I think, is probably the more important part.
Apparently at some point their organization became involved with my boss. Their ideas just aligned and they saw it as a partnership. And my boss still doesn't know all of the various behind the scenes sand stuff, but I think still would agree with the major message. And then through that, Cora ended up befriending and now dating a 2-foot tall gnome with cool blue hair.
Yeah, this is a total badass.
Yes, total badass.
Myself and Seer character.
Yes, Brian is playing this badass character.
Right. And I think so. What is it that, I guess, in the grand scheme of things, like, what does Cora see as, like, her ultimate, like, goal with what the group does now?
Well, at first she just wanted to finish the job for, like, just thought it was cool to get picked back up for the random, like, hey, help with this thing job because something was stolen. We were supposed to get it back. And
you did technically.
Yeah, I guess. But now that, like, she's learning about all of the underlying conspiracies, like, she's not just going to be done with it because now she's learned that there's so much going on in the city, like, that she didn't previously know about, and sees that there's a place she could make a difference. So her goal, I guess, would be just to improve things because she sees all of even some of the sand stuff, like, as corrupt and wrong.
Cool. Awesome.
That's why we're eating Waffle House.
Exactly. It's the perfect meal for when you've had either a shitty or great night, and it's 3 a.m.
Like
And when you
you're
murdered,
either
like, 30
drunk
people
or you
in a
just
box.
murdered a guy.
Sure,
Go
yeah.
to Waffle House.
So, and also beat up some cops.
They're all laid out the same. You know where to
Beat up
go.
cops?
It's great.
Yeah, yes, beat up cops.
We did. They attacked first, though.
No, they didn't. They really actually didn't.
Yeah, they came at us. They came at
They
us.
got
They
aggressive
started
with
to
you.
they got aggressive. They started to stand up, and I walked through the door and shot one.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. It's like
exactly
a
what
guy posturing
happened.
and you just, like, shoot him in the
Yeah.
face.
Ding ding.
That's right. That's right. It was his awesome.
There's zero self-defense
grand
that happened
entrance.
there.
Yeah.
So Odo was just sitting there, like, eating like the Waffle House equivalent of huevos rancheros, which is grits
That's
with
Ari's
an egg on
special
top
thing.
and then salsa on top of that. And they're just kind of eating. They're like, this is not how I pictured my Saturday going.
Oddly enough, I think it's exactly how I pictured mine.
That seems like a lot. Like
Yeah.
I do a lot. Like,
Yeah, I think we've made some pretty prominent enemies at this point.
I mean, luckily, you guys didn't leave a hole. Like, you guys didn't, we didn't really leave any. I mean, we didn't leave Malik alive, so that's not a super prominent enemy.
And we left his bodyguard alive.
We can deal.
The doorman.
Yeah. All of those.
We also left the doorman alive.
That'll teach us to leave
we
people
can-
alive.
Just kill
Like
everyone in your path.
Odo kind of looks down at their food and they're like, that can be taken. They can be taken care of.
You scare me.
I didn't want to.
You did kill a guy in cold blood while staring directly into his eyes to prove that you could.
I didn't do shit.
It's not true.
Oh, well, that was in the hallway. But, that guy didn't matter. It didn't have a name or a family.
I didn't do shit. Also, it was in the hallway.
Are we all at the house? Did
No.
we-
No, just these two.
the
Yeah.
two of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's a lot of side commentary for people who aren't there.
Come on, Laz. Yeah.
Just like about
I'm just, talking to the air around me.
You're talking to yourself a lot, babe, and it's concerning me. But yeah, Odo's like,
Her pacifist mind having to kill someone just made it
So-
snap. She's now got. Well,
So
actually,
this-
none of us are real characters. It's all just.
Yes.
Oh
Right.
god.
That's a twist.
And then the camera pulls out and we're all just in a snow globe.
Yeah.
nailed it. You guys called my big twist.
That trope is
We
overdone.
cracked your snow globe puzzle.
So Odo's like, so this morning, I woke up with the intention of being like, hey, like, maybe you shouldn't do these things, because they're very dangerous, obviously. But, I mean, after a whole day of fighting people, and also I'm just so very tired.
I don't care about your safety anymore.
Well, that just seems like a bullshit opinion to have. Because obviously you can take care of yourself, and even if you couldn't, I don't really have the authority to tell you what to do.
Accurate.
Romance at its finest.
Yeah.
Don't tell your partners what to do.
That's fair.
That's abusive and bad.
I just want you to know what, like, I've been doing this for a while. The sands were basically just like 3 years ago, they were just shitty teenagers scrawling things on spray painting walls, and now we're a thing. And I prepared myself to make a lot of enemies, but I don't. The guilds are dangerous, all of them.
Really?
Yeah, and I know you know that, but I don't.
How many of you had hits placed on from? But
A number.
let me ask you this. First and foremost, my career is important to me, and is it a mistake for us to be partnering with you?
Career-wise, probably not. I mean, the boss is already partnered with us. You're in. So,
Yeah.
that's a thing.
He's probably going to find out eventually.
Not if I have anything to do about it. That is not what I do. What I do on my free time and what I do at the Parliament are two different things serving the same goal. So you gotta play hearts and minds, and you also gotta play hardball. So
All
I
right.
just want you to be aware. Like, the guilds, they're powerful, and everybody in the world is either in their pocket or is the pocket somebody's in. And you just need to. They can do things so much more than just kill you. And I just need you to be aware of that.
Fair.
Okay.
Fair. I won't argue that.
Yeah. I don't know. They're scary. They scare me. Not enough to not go up against them, but they're scary. So that's. But yeah. So that's where I'm at. I'm also very tired.
Also very tired.
So tired. I cannot stress stress enough how tired I am.
Yeah, after we eat, I'll probably suggest like, hey, I still don't want to be alone. Please come sleep on my couch or somewhere. I don't care.
It's fine. I am a gnome person. I can literally sleep on a sofa or like literally on a I can lay out on a recliner.
Can I put an Afghan at the end of my bed?
Listen, that seems demeaning.
That's being recorded.
Cora, worst romance ever.
No.
Worst.
Mental note: never date Cora.
Jesus Christ.
Odo's fine with it.
Okay.
Not that sleeping on the end of the bed.
But it was a joke.
Yeah.
It's a hilarious joke.
Give him a collar
It'd
and
be
a little
worse
dog
if they were like a
dish.
dog
Jesus.
person, like if you were dating a gnome.
What a good boy. Good boy do a backstab. Oh.
Your big gnome boyfriend. Who doesn't
They
even
made
a
go
movie
find
about that
Diego.
Huh?
They made a
Moving
movie
on.
about that
Okay. That got weird.
Yes,
No,
it
it's,
did.
it was a
Yeah.
major blockbuster. It wasn't really a blockbuster.
What?
What?
Is it My Boyfriend Diego?
My boyfriend, Diego, the wolf, or the hyena man. It's a long title. They're working on it.
So yeah,
Okay.
we'll go back to my place and sleep.
Okay, sweet. And you guys, I guess you'll just like hang out on Sunday, like just not doing literally anything.
Yeah, we can
Yeah,
paint each
sounds
other's
good.
nails. Otherwise,
Yeah,
I'm
it
not
seems-
leaving my bed.
That's fair. Yeah. Okay. Who else? What? All right, Seer, what are you doing on Sunday after you murdered one of your bosses?
Going to visit my parents.
Okay, good. Sweet. Okay, so tell us who you are and what Seer's whole vibe is.
Right, so I'm Danielle, and I play Seer Darkfeather. And Seer is an Aarakocra. He is a bird person. That sums up a lot of his character, because I like birds and am weird that way. But Seer grew up the son of shepherd parents and generally very poor, and his parents scrimped and saved in order to get him a monk teacher, essentially, and they gifted him these lessons with this other monk in order to help to bring him up out of poverty. And it worked, and he got a great job working for the Kieran Collective as a bodyguard, and things were looking up for a while.
Till recently.
Till recently.
Very recently. So what is, I guess, why is Seer hanging out with the, the wackadoos that he does?
Well, part of it is because they helped him get where he is too. So he started working for the Kieran Collective because before that he was kind of just, some nobody who knew a couple of martial art moves and, hooked up with this cleric and this keeper, and they went on fun adventures and saved people, and that got him enough attention to actually become something more than he was. And so he feels a little bit of indebtedness to them for that. And also he kind of likes being the hero and, kind of running in to save the day and solving mysteries and doing good. So
Cool. And so Seer is having a little bit of a crisis of conscience.
Oh yeah, a little bit, just a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because of the murdering of CEOs for the company that he works for.
Yeah.
Like you do.
Yeah.
Just Monday stuff.
He's having not a great day.
Yeah.
He's freaking out a lot. Because he's coming up against this idea that, well, my parents worked to put me where I am, but maybe the people I'm working for aren't good, and now I have to fight against them somehow. But does that betray everything that my parents worked hard to get for me? So he's really having a crisis.
Conflicted bird.
Very conflicted bird.
So you head out to visit your parents.
Yep.
Your parents are like, "Hey, son, who keeps coming by real often. I mean, we appreciate
And
it.
also
but yeah.
has burnt feathers all over the place. What?
Man, you got healed.
I don't know if that would heal feathers.
Would-
though.
yeah,
that's
why
like
not?
that's like saying if someone got hit with a fireball, that all their hair would regrow back when they would heal.
I mean,
I thought that was implied with healing spells.
Is it?
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
If you lose, if you chop a finger off, you heal the wound, but you don't grow the finger back unless you do restoration. So.
it's true.
So yeah, I guess you're burned on one side.
I guess
You're just not you don't have any open wounds.
Right.
It just looks
Right.
like you got.
No, my
looks
skin
like-
is all healed. My
Yeah.
feathers are just burned.
Okay, cool.
Singed,
Yeah. And so your parents are like they're very they're concerned, but they're
Lightly
trying not to talk
roasted.
about it. But they're like
Pheasant.
I don't think she's
just like looking back and forth to each
She's
other,
more
being
of a
very
Right.
like basically looking like concerned birds.
There's
They're
just
just
a
darting
video
around.
And nobody wants to eat raptor because raptors are real gamey.
We're discussing
Listen,
cooking
if I-
you and eating you right now.
Listen,
That's
when
what's happening.
If I physically kill a velociraptor, I'm eating it.
Hey, let it be known that
I can gain
her
its power
fiance is
that
the
way.
one who brought up the story of eating her.
So,
You know.
so yeah. I mean, they're concerned, but they're not trying to talk about it. And at some point, eventually, your mother's just like,
Over here
"So
with
what happened to
that."
your arm? What happened?"
I was, helping out one of my bosses, and someone threw a torch at them. But it was fine. We had clerics on hand. It's fine.
Your parents don't have a reason to disbelieve you, but they're not buying it 100%.
As a parent,
yeah.
I'm fine always means you're not fucking
Fine. Yeah. They're not gonna push it, but they're like, well, I mean, we know. You're
Fine, we're all fine down here.
Yeah.
How are you?
Their birdie senses are going.
your dad. You're like it's kind of a tense conversation, and eventually, like your mom goes off to do something. Your dad's like, listen, I know that. Like you're a bodyguard. We get it. It's working out well for you. You seem to enjoy it. We know it's inherently dangerous. They know you're a bodyguard, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Good. They're like, we know there's inherent danger in there, but just I don't know. Maybe we're doing fine. You're doing fine. Maybe it's time to look for something that's not as dangerous. Like this is the second time in almost a month that this guy you're working for has been attacked. Like maybe you shouldn't be working for him.
Yeah, it's definitely him. It's.
Yeah.
You know, it's right. I'm not going to work for him anymore.
Well, but you guys are always the ones who are pushing me to get off the farm and go and make something better of myself, and that's what I'm doing. I'm making something better of myself.
You are doing great. We are
We thought you were going to doctor or something.
Yeah. we're astonishingly proud of what you do, Seer. But it's worrisome. We both get worried. And there's just so much, like the news from the city. It seems like there's just like a lot of tension. And just like we want you to be the best you that you can be, but maybe like a safer you.
Better, safer you.
Yeah. Not like you don't have to like quit Monday or whatever, but just keep some options
Tuesday is
open.
fine.
Yeah.
Now, honey, why don't you settle down and just become a nice shopkeeper?
Yeah.
Or there are plenty of careers that don't involve you risking life and limb.
I don't feel like that's an undue piece of advice from your parents. Like, hey, maybe stop getting blown up. Like,
Birds are
we know that
flammable, right?
getting blown up pays good, but Jesus.
Whatever happened to when you were just a little bird? You always said that you wanted to be a farmer. Don't you want to be a farmer?
They don't want him to be a farmer. That's also one of the
point.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oops.
They're like,
So
don't
your
be a
mom's big
farmer.
city,
Go
not
be
a
cool.
farmer.
You could drive Uber. You could. You could be a cook.
Make the family proud. Drive Uber. Sleep in your car in a parking lot in a Walmart.
Listen, I get really, really good medical benefits with this job, and I'm very
And
well
I'm inclined
taken
to use
care
them
of.
as much as possible.
She's just getting the most for her money. I mean,
Like I'm well taken care of. It's all fine.
Okay. I mean, listen, we just worry.
Fine.
I
We just
know.
want you to be safe.
I know.
And then you guys have like a good, I guess, Sunday meal of
grow
Like
other
some
bird people
mice.
And then
I
and
just
then
assume birdie people eat just normal ass food except for chicken. I think you probably eat chicken. You
We
guys are
eat
like
chicken.
falcon people.
Yes.
So yeah.
we would
Fuck other
definitely
birds.
eat chicken.
then a group preening
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
Hey, fingers.
Then you all regurgitate the bones of what you just ate, and then
Yeah. It's
And then we
super
go to
gross.
bed.
It's all gross.
It's a
the
good
grossest.
family time.
Yeah.
When you're a bird person.
Yep.
So, but yeah. So
I asked to roost next to them for this night.
how do you get how do you get out to the city, or how do you get because I don't think we've ever established I mean, obviously you can take like an Uber or something like that, but that seems like expensive.
I would just fly.
That's right, you do.
Turns out
Turns
they have
out.
wings.
Fuck you, Brian.
Turns out Seer is a bird.
Person.
Like we
Fuck
just
me, I guess.
discussing.
Well,
You know.
all right then.
Too much.
Kind of suck to be a bird person and not get to fly.
Like the farms are still pretty
Yeah, I mean, that's
far
like
outside of the city.
all the
It's not like
negatives,
you don't
no
fly
benefits.
as fast as a car drives.
No,
know,
no.
You get the
It's
super
like
light
an all-day
bones,
affair.
Okay,
easily
okay.
breakable bones.
All right, that's fine. That's fine. I just wanted to establish that.
Regurgitate.
On your way back into the city, go ahead and make like a perception check.
Okay.
Here are my dice for your use.
18.
18. Okay. As you're flying back into the city, you realize that there's like kind of not keeping pace with you, but you notice like the exact same truck like that left the city with you like roughly the same time when you left the city,
Sniper
following
dog.
you back in. It doesn't seem to be following you per se. Like when you dart off to your house, it goes a different. Like you dart off to your apartment, it goes a different way. But it's definitely the same truck from this morning. So that's a thing that happened. And well, Oren's in the bathroom. Schmear, what do you do with your Sunday?
Sleep.
All right, so tell me what Schmear's deal is.
Schmear Narash is the head of certain Narash Investigations, a private investigation firm of the small nature. He's a warlock. He's dragonborn, blue, spits lightning.
Okay. Oh, and also, what is your name? I guess.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
oh,
we
hi,
forgot that
I'm
part.
Richard. I placed her, Schmear.
Okay, cool. And so I guess sort of give us a recap of like what Schmear's been doing up until this point, and like kind of why he's hanging out with all these weirdos and such like.
Okay, Schmear started off as a local foot pounder with the city guard. Was a little too honest for their taste, as we've learned. As you're going to learn, the city guard in this game is not all that on the up and up. They decided he was too honest and did away with him. He got rescued by a being of light and joy and happiness who has given him power and knowledge.
That is the best, the thing I absolutely love the most. So explain to them how your warlock's patron works.
Well, there's my warlock's patron and what my warlock thinks his patron are. My warlock is a warlock of the Great Old Ones, who are here to open a portal and invade and devour us all and take over our world.
I believe we have fully developed that this particular old one is, we're just straight up go with Nyarlathotep.
Actually, yeah, Nyarlathotep, and we're trying to open a portal to Yog-Sothoth.
Cool, sweet, awesome.
However, what Schmear thinks is that he was rescued by the acolyte of a lost and nameless goddess who was killed in the Wars of Creation. That would be Yog-Sothoth.
Yeah.
And he's dedicated to restoring her to power and bringing her back into the world and saving all the little children.
I love it. And so, so I guess what is his motivation for sticking around with all of the weirdos that he sticks around with?
He's kind of I'm patterning him after a classic Gumshoe, kind of the Archer, the Garrett, the Rigby Reardon, the always out for the little guy. So we've been presented with crimes, and he gets paid. He goes and fixes the job. He gets way too wrapped up in it because he's that kind of guy. And now he's just kind of blindly following along the path that these crazies lead him on.
Awesome. Okay.
And he'd
awesome.
like to get paid along the way if that could possibly happen.
Right, that would be good occasionally.
Thanks. Good. Solid character development.
I sleep. I go to the bar.
Okay, great.
I can come do a thing.
All this checks. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Tessa.
Yes.
Yeah, what do you do with your Sunday?
I'm going to clean my armor
Okay,
and my
good.
sword.
Right.
And I might go down to the fantasy Starbucks
Mm-hmm.
and read a book.
Cool.
Have a
You gonna have like another awkward coffee date with I?
no.
No. Okay.
No, that would be weird.
Okay, so tell me sort of what Tessa's deal is. I guess introduce her to us.
Okay. I'm Shannon, and I am playing Tessa Blackmore. Tessa is a paladin. She is a vengeance paladin of the. She's kind of a weird critter because she does have devotion to the Raven Queen, which is the goddess of death. But she's not a holy paladin, which is kind of it's kind of a weird character choice that I made. So when you told us what the world was going to be, you told us that the big no in the world was necromancy, and so I wanted to make something that could nuke things from orbit,
Right.
and roll
Paladins
in there
are real
with
good about that,
with
yeah.
with a big sword and mess everything up because I'd never played a character like that before. So I was like, well, we'll just point her at the biggest target. What I didn't know was that
I'm real bad at combat.
no. What I didn't know is that in this world, she was joining an organization that actually wasn't doing anything, and so it was setting her up to be kind of like the Marvel movieverse Captain America.
Right.
So Tessa.
Which I believe is like is a thing that we sort of like spun off in the first session. We were just trying to feel out what was going on with everybody.
Right. So Tessa grew up poor, and she watched her family be murdered and turned undead by a group of necromancers. She escaped the attack, doesn't really know how, and she went feral for a year as a child, and before stumbling into a Church of the Raven Queen and getting a grip on life. And she basically was turned into a missile launched straight at the heart of necromancers everywhere, which would have been really nice if that hadn't been the last
Major
attack of necromancers in the city. She joined the Keepers, which is an organization dedicated to killing all necromancers everywhere, but turns out they're not really doing much of anything, which is a big conflict for her because more and more she's seeing that this mission that she's had in her life, it isn't fulfilling her and isn't really serving any purpose. So what they've made her into is a poster child, literally.
Yep.
She's pretty, and she's in big black armor, and she's on all these posters, like recruitment posters.
Yeah.
The Keepers want you.
Yeah, we literally, like, we made some sort of joke about you being, like, a super soldier, essentially, in, like, the first couple of sessions, and we've just really ran with that as hard as we possibly could.
Right. So she's Tessa from the posters. Everybody comes up to her and is like, "Are you Tessa from the posters?" And it's this nifty mythology, I guess, in the other players' minds that she's really vain and likes the celebrity, but really Tessa hates being Tessa from the posters. What she really wants to be is Tessa, the big hero who saved the world, or even just Tessa who does something vaguely useful ever.
Right. And so that's one of the things I rather enjoyed about one of the things I really like about like these sorts of games, that you can start with this idea. Like, it's really, because I gave you guys sort of the world, but I didn't have a whole lot of plan for it to begin with. I was like, here's a cool thing. And so, like, we've really been able to, like, collectively build out this mythology that I didn't necessarily have in motion or didn't have in place. Like, I was like, okay, cool, here are the keepers. And now I've been able to spin out this, like, this large organization that has their own more, like, motivations that I was like, oh, I put this organization in place because I knew at some point somebody was going to play a cleric. And I need to address what the gods do. And so now I address what the people who worship the gods do, which was really nice and I enjoyed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I might be socially awkward, but I know that would be weird. Right. So maybe read a book.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
That's what I'm doing. Does anybody say anything to me about what happened?
Well, when you come in on Sunday night, like it's definitely in the newspaper because Malik died. And that's a big deal.
Right.
They don't know who. Like, it's weird. And I guess if any of you guys probably would pick up newspapers and make sure, like, this is a big deal event. You two know that you definitely got saw. Like, Oren and Seer got seen. You literally walked past cops.
Yeah.
And you could tell people had seen you, right? There's no mention of either of you fleeing the scene.
Okay.
There's no... currently there are no suspects. They're pursuing nobody. They're asking for no information about Malik's death. But Malik definitely
Is this
died.
newspaper particularly owned by a rival guild or something?
No, it's roughly the same story in every newspaper.
So,
There's
like,
not one newspaper.
What's it saying? Is it saying unknown causes?
Yeah, well
got stabbed a lot.
It seems to all play out like
has no head.
Well, somebody he has a head, it's just flattered.
We saw that happened, yeah.
So it all seems to play out like there was an attack on the building. There are multiple casualties, one of which was Malik. They're like, maybe it was because it seems to be that they're maybe like implying that this is some kind of like anti-guild terrorists or criminal attack, something like that.
So they're like implying it without actually saying it.
Well, sort of. Like, it's just like this is it's speculation from this. All this basically, it's it's an AP report from the cops, and that everyone's basically reporting the same thing because no one else has any other leads.
Right.
Then, like, the police chief came out and was like, he's dead.
He sure is dead in there.
Dead, Jim.
There's a lot of dead guys.
Right.
Real dead. There will be like funeral services for Malik on like Wednesday. It's closed casket.
Really?
Wonder why.
Yeah, I know, right? But yeah, there's no mention of like you guys or that big golem in there either. So that's a thing. Oren, what are you doing Sunday?
I probably have to spend a good portion of the day running inventory and stuff like that for the bar.
That seems like a Sunday thing. Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, that's fine.
That if there's time, I might go visit my. I might go visit the Broderick.
Okay, so tell us about you and Oren.
Hi, I'm Andrew, and I play Oren Stonebrewer Kalawakalani. He is a Goliath cleric who went to the cleric college for to worship Morden, and found through his studies that he had an interest in arcane magic as well, which is unusual both for clerics in general and for Goliaths. And has since traveled down the path of becoming a wizard. So he's a first level cleric and a fourth level theurge.
And also he has other interests in life.
Oh yeah, so he's really big into brewing beer. He has a very unique talent, which is that he can brew beer directly from stones. He owned. So after leaving cleric college, he was put into an internship as a sort of a guard for someone at Elder Tower, and did not like kind of the petty politics of what was going on during that kind of apprenticeship, and eventually just left and started his own bar while he tried to figure out what else he was going to do with his life.
Yeah, like you do.
To make a name for himself. And at his bar, which is Morden's Flagon, he brews the best basalt ale you've ever had. Really good at the Onyx Porter. Pulls the beer straight from stones. Nobody still really understands how it works, but people keep coming back.
Yeah, we don't talk about it. It's trade secret.
It's great. Yeah, it's a trade secret of one. Yes.
And so that's one of the things I like about, especially like all of your characters. Like they're like, oh yeah, we are a collection of like stats and stuff like that. But like I like how it's like, well, it's D&D, so we need a bar. So
gotta have a bar, and so I might as well own the bar.
Yeah, exactly.
Which works.
And so it's become like the Scooby, it has become the headquarters for y'all's little Scooby squad.
Yeah, that's right. Morden's Flagon.
Oren is like actively pursuing like a combination of arcane and divine spells.
And so since he is still a devout worshiper of Moradin, but he has this interest in arcane, he has this theory that there's a way to combine divine and arcane magic in a way which is not really done in this world, to my knowledge anyway.
Right. No.
Because everything seems to be fairly rigorously separated. The clerics don't really like the wizards all that much. The wizards don't really like to dabble in the divine very much. But he thinks that arcane magic could be used in the service of Morden and fighting in the defense.
Because fundamentally, clerics and wizards sort of get their spells the same way. Like it's study. Like at the end of the day,
sort of.
So, yeah. Cool.
The priest of Morden.
Okay.
Not necessarily to discuss this particular thing, but just kind of to.
I'm gonna change mine.
I would probably
You
want.
decide to wake up.
Yeah.
I would probably want to be amongst. I would probably feel.
You're gonna take confession?
I would just feel comfortable.
Now killed two
We had
people.
established Broderick was previously like a professor for years, but now it's just running a smaller church.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure I was thinking of the same guy.
Yeah, I wouldn't go for like a confession or anything like that. I would just feel more comfortable like in the presence of my deity or however you want to phrase that.
So like Michael shows up, for his shift, and you're
Yeah.
like, hey, Michael covered the day. It's like, yeah, sure, whatever.
Yeah.
You paid me real good.
Yeah.
Also,
Yeah, he gets good pay.
this is a weird ass place. Thanks.
Yeah.
He gets on this weird
It's
track.
probably one of the
around
better
bar.
jobs he's ever had to take.
And so you go visit Broderick. You visited Broderick recently, right? Like
Yeah, we
at
did
least
it.
within the last 2 weeks, right?
Yeah.
It's like, hey, Oren, thanks. Broderick, what was Broderick? Was he a dwarf guy? No.
I don't know what we made him.
I think you made him a dwarf.
Probably. That makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Broderick, he comes in. He's like, Oren, thanks for coming. It's good to see you again.
Mm-hmm.
You caught me just after like today's service. So give me just a minute. I've got to clean. Get everything set up, and then if you want to meet me in the office, or if you want to, did you?
I mean, I didn't come specifically to see him. I'm like, good to see you. You just
came to chill out. I'm sorry, I misunderstood. I'm sorry.
If you're.
So he's like, I'll.
If there's something you want to chat about, you got some time, I don't mind. But I just came to be in Morden's presence.
That's fair. Yeah. Well, great. Would you
maybe see
care
some
to
of the
be
fights?
Would you care to be in the presence and help me get some chairs picked up?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. You do.
Awesome. You're
Like
a
you
big guy.
do.
Come on. I'm strong.
He's like
but
here.
short.
Yeah, he's dense.
You can carry way more chairs than me.
Yeah, that's true.
Just from a logistical standpoint.
Yeah.
So you guys you pick up chairs. It's a pretty solid day.
I'm only there for an hour or two.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I head back to the bar.
Yeah, you guys just basically you shoot the shit. While you're there, there's a big, there's a dispute settlement.
Yeah.
But it doesn't necessarily come to blows in the middle of the ring.
Yeah.
But it's more just Broderick sitting there doing some mediating.
Yeah.
Essentially for community stuff.
Yeah.
Just doing his job, his legit job as a priest of Morden. So, overall, it's pretty uneventful. Nothing crazy happens. No, nothing crazy happens.
Right.
So.
Do you want to roll percentiles for that?
Yeah, no, that's fine.
At what percentage does something crazy happen?
Seshmir, you wake up.
Late.
Late?
Like early afternoon.
Uh-huh.
Go grab some food, and then...
I didn't assume you ever woke up any earlier than late afternoon.
No, probably not, because my normal business hours are,
Very late, yeah.
Head down to the kind of the public square area and start, passing out pamphlets and talking about the nameless goddess. And
Sure, okay,
Oh
yeah.
my God.
You go street preacher on your Sunday afternoon.
I do.
Oh
Yeah.
my God, we hang out with him.
So this happens. It's great. I love it.
He's the guy that I pretend I'm not home when he knocks on my door and always leaves a chick track.
Yeah. Except it's about this goddess who died in like the creation.
In the pre-dawn
war.
times.
Weirdo.
Yep. She'll
So-
save us all.
Not a lot of people talk to you. You're pretty like I imagine you're decent about it. You're not shitty about it.
Oh yeah. No.
But just no one seems like. I imagine it's also pretty regular. No one seems terribly interested, except today.
Okay.
Like a human guy comes up to you, and he's like a very tall, like dark skinned dude. It's weird. His skin is really, it's kind of like a dark tan. You can't tell if that's like his natural skin color. He spends a lot of time in the sun because it kind of looks like he spends a lot of time in the sun. Because his skin, the way his skin looks, it makes him look a lot older than the way that his face is. He's got like a young-looking face, but his skin's kind of old-looking. It's very weathered. And he comes in, he takes a pamphlet.
Cancer.
Huh?
You need sunscreen, at least or else you get cancer.
I know, right? But he's very tall. He has very like tall, exact like long features. When you notice when he takes like the pamphlet, he's got these kind of like longish fingers. This is like a stretched out dude. And he's like, oh, and he's like legitimately interested. He's like the nameless mother.
Yes.
And he takes the pamphlet. He's like, so what's the deal?
Well, back in the pre-dawn times, before gods were gods, there was a war, and the goddess was killed. She was the goddess of healing and light.
This is different from the. Because did I establish? I forgot who the fucking deities were. Sarah Ray's not in this, right?
I don't know.
She's a Pathfinder D&D. I didn't include her. She's a Pathfinder deity. Okay, cool, yeah. So okay. So sort of like a counterpart to Paylor, like the All-Father.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
But, she was killed, but in the way of gods,
Right.
they don't
yeah,
truly
okay,
die.
Right.
So she awaits for the time of her arising, and we have to work towards that. And when she comes, she'll bring healing and light, complementing Paylor probably, and spreading the light across the universe.
Interesting. Seems like seems solid. Yeah, thank you. Okay. And he just kind of takes the pamphlet and leaves it. He doesn't make like a dinner date or anything, but he seems legitimately interested.
Was he able to tell what was he a human?
Yeah, he's a human dude. He was kind of like a stretched out human.
Sure.
You know those people who are just like,
Abraham Lincoln.
yeah, like
Sure.
kind of just like too tall and too thin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Skellington.
But because he was like,
Not
when
sure
he
if
walked
that's
up, he was wearing like a gray suit, had like a black pinstripe, like the vest, but he didn't have a tie on.
Right.
He had a like trilby on. You couldn't really see his hair, but it's probably like a dark color.
That seems like a
So
good
yeah,
boy
that's the thing. Anything else you do on your Sunday? Just proselytize?
No, just proselytize.
Just proselytize. Okay, cool.
We're a
Tessa's
weird.
over there like, goddamn.
Weird
Goddamn.
Raven Queen down.
I know, right? Sahiri, what have you been doing in this week while your friends committed murder?
Well, I have been absent for a while because someone burned down my house.
Yeah, it was some random guy.
And so
Got it.
we've been trying to rebuild and to restore the shop to its close to its former glory as we can get. And I've been
It didn't necessarily burn down, it just got...
On the
it
plus side,
burned,
you
it had
can't
to
be
get gutted.
implicated in the murder of a gillhead.
It's true.
So I've been like
At that
traveling
hour.
back and forth between my home in the deep forest area and here, getting supplies to restock things and place wards and etc.
Okay.
Very druidish type
That sounds very dirty.
Yep.
Sweet.
So I've been doing that and avoiding all these people because they, even though I have no proof, I strongly suspect that the involvement I had in the company of these fine people got my house burned down.
Well, I mean, it's not bad because the last time you were with them, you went to a crazy dream den, fought in a war, smoked some clove cigarettes at middle school, and then were eaten by a monster.
I strongly feel like that didn't happen.
And
to
went
me.
into a sitcom. Don't forget the 50 sitcom.
Well, that's where you got eaten by a monster.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So
It was a bad dream.
It's a bad. Well, that's not a terrible descriptor of it.
I mean, honestly, possibly one of the least weird things. I know that's probably one of the most weird things that's happened so far.
So far, yeah.
Yeah, it really wasn't kind of in the top.
Yeah. It's up there.
So yeah. So Monday rolls around. Everybody goes to work. When you show up at work, Seer, Wyatt is not. He's not at his lab. He's at his office, which is not terribly unusual. Like, you know, it's like whatever. Everything is all a Twitter because Malik died. Everything's in chaos. Yeah.
Intended.
Oh yeah, I forget you're a bird. I gotta lean heavy. I either gotta stop or lean heavier into bird puns. I can't figure out which one.
You should look for. You should consult the bird law. Never mind. Bad Reddit.
So everything's kind of chaotic, and Malik's running, or not Malik, Wyatt is running around a little bit of the morning, and eventually he goes to his office. And he's like, "Seer, come on, Seer, I need you to come. I need to talk to you for a second."
Okay.
So you come into the office, and sitting in the back corner of the office is the golem. It's like burned out husk of a golem. And Wyatt goes to his desk. He goes, "Sir, I need you to have a seat."
Okay, should I close the door?
Yes.
Did they find a feather inside the golem?
They saw a bird flying away from the crime scene.
We're getting there. Don't worry. So Malik sits down at his desk. You sit down.
Malik?
I keep calling him Malik. Wyatt.
They're only
Wyatt.
Malik.
Yeah, it's Malik, and Wyatt. Now it's just Malik, and Wyatt.
One down, two to go.
Yep.
We will rid this world of Maliks.
So Wyatt sits down at his desk. You sit down. He doesn't immediately acknowledge you. He's like working through some paperwork. It's one of those like shitty meetings at work where your boss is like intentionally power playing you to make you nervous. Probably works because there's a big reminder of the murder you committed standing behind you.
It really was not murder.
Self-defense.
Murder.
Anyway, go ahead. Continue.
I'm pretty sure it's not murder if it's in defense of a life of an innocent.
Yeah, I mean, listen. Okay, the guy you just killed, who was very important,
Yes.
sitting behind you. So eventually he goes, "So how was your weekend?"
Not great.
I can see that.
So you're fired.
Hey, I defended myself very well.
Either fired or promoted. It could go either way, really.
So I feel like we probably haven't done a proper employee review since you moved in as my head of security.
God! Performance review?
We're getting there.
Awesome.
So just in general, I feel like we are. I feel like your skills are wasted as just a bodyguard. I feel like you can do so much more for. I feel like you can do so much more for the company
At a desk.
at a different position. So don't think that I'm demoting you, but I've got a new head of security, and the door opens, and the big fucking orc guy with a broken arm walks in, and shuts the door behind him.
The big orc guy.
The other
The one we left
bodyguard.
alive.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. It's like, I need an item. And he's sort of like, he shuffles through some papers. And he's like, I need, for my work. So, So while I'm
says a hammer,
very
he's gonna
sad
get that hammer.
that Malik has
He wants
passed
the
away,
heart.
it was advantageous
Malik
for me.
Malik.
For one, he was in direct opposition to me a lot, but I've spoken with the financier behind a lot of Malik's projects, and I had a meeting over the weekend, and we've definitely come to an agreement. Go ahead and what's your passive perception?
13.
Go ahead and roll a perception check for me.
21.
Oh, Jesus, okay. So, have you ever seen somebody who's gotten punched right in the eye? So, like, aside from, like, the bruising and swelling, but, like, their eye will physically be, like, there will be, like, kind of blood in their eye, like a splotchy blood thing in their eye. Wyatt definitely has that on, like, both eyes, but this doesn't look like he's been punched at all. He just looks completely fine. Except there's, like, a weird... Thank you. What is it?
Scleral hematoma.
That's what it is. He's got like a blood spot in the back of his eye, and he seems.
Thank you, Apothecary Mary.
I don't know. His demeanor seems different than usual. He's leaning like more. He's usually very laid back kind of guy, and this doesn't seem like his usual sort of play. But Malik's financier and I came to an agreement about how I wanted to move our project forward. And I feel like that we can make a really big step, but right now we're in a resource issue. And it's not money or materials per se, but we need something to we need a particular item to get it. Particularly, he like hands you like a manila envelope. There's like literally one page in it. It's the worst, there's...
It's like it's in his office,
yeah.
Nobody can see it, still has to be in an envelope.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's not. It's like a folder, like a manila folder, with like one sheet of paper in it.
I like to check the back.
Yeah, and on it is like it's like I need you to pick up an item from the Keeper's Archive. It's lot number 39452, and I just need you to acquire that from the Keepers.
So you're an errand boy now?
I need you to acquire that from the Keepers and bring it back to me. I don't need them to know that it's me getting it for it. I highly doubt that they're going to be amiable to giving it up, but from what I hear, I think you've gotten in with the Keepers. So I believe in your talents, Seer. So I would like this item by Friday. And I cannot stress how important this deadline is, because I'm heading out to the country this weekend. I don't want anything bad to happen. So.
Well, I guess
if
someone
have
else
that on
has
my
to
desk by
die.
Friday, it'd be great. So.
You're so quick to resort to murder.
I mean...
And by Friday, it will be Malik and Malik.
You know,
So what does Seer do in
they
this
keep
situation?
threatening our families and livelihoods.
Birds have very good poker faces.
Well, they are birds, so yeah, there's that.
Unless you're looking them directly down the beak. Then it's like,
so what does Seer do
That's like always.
when Wyatt basically threatens Seer's family?
Absolutely nothing.
Nothing. Okay, cool. So you have, you're pretty much good to go if you can go ahead. You have the time to go ahead and focus on this. Don't worry about coming to the office unless you have the object, obviously. I'm taken care of.
Okay. I nod to what's his face in the corner and be like nuts. I don't say you're welcome, but it's implied in the
Like,
way
how's the
that I
arm?
nod to him.
Yeah.
What happened to your arm? That looks awful.
I bet a really strong person did. An excellent bodyguard.
Over and over again.
Yep. You really should dodge better.
And right before you walk out the door, Wyatt's like, remember, I didn't need a bodyguard to take care of that guy who was trying to kill me before. So, have a good week.
Yep.
Fun times.
Don't you love it when your boss threatens to kill you and your family?
Oh, it's my
happens.
absolute fave.
I mean, it's no worse than anything else that happens in the office.
As
feel like
performance
Casey would do
reviews
that.
go, you know.
That was pretty mild as performance reviews
Yeah,
go.
it could've been worse.
So
least
what do
they
you
didn't.
do?
No, I'm not gonna threaten him back.
Mhm.
I'm not gonna do that. Because I could hand on the doorknob, be like, I'm really sorry to hear about Malik, and then just leave.
You could. I'm
I think I'm gonna do that.
Yeah, okay. And just, like right before you close the door, he goes, I need you to focus on this task, not taking trips out of town. Okay.
Remember, guys, if you can make it worse, always make it worse.
Oh yeah.
It's actually on my character
Cool.
sheet.
Yeah, I do believe that.
We all need to take that as a third.
I thought that they just say that on the second page of the
Yeah.
fucking player's handbook. So yeah, what do you do now that you've exited his office? No one seems to be stopping you. You don't have a shadow or anything.
Yep, I go to the bar.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
Yep. It's Monday, right?
Yeah.
We're not used to meeting
it's
at the
still
bar
like
on
Middle
Mondays.
of the day.
Yeah, well, it's I guess it's about lunchtime. I forgot when we have the bar doesn't open for breakfast.
Yeah, the bar doesn't open till probably like at least 3-ish.
Okay.
That's early for a
We're
bar.
usually not here
You
till
live on-
Friday, though.
So, did you guys see the updated map that I sent?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So
Okay,
like you're at the
find it out.
Keeper headquarters and his bar. It's probably gonna take you a good little while to get over to the bar. So
You could come see me. I work.
It's
Yeah,
true.
you're actually
Tessa
you're
doesn't
really
really.
close.
I work
Yeah.
for the keepers.
Yeah. So, do you go to the bar or do you go to Tessa? You actually don't live too far away from.
Yeah,
the
I was gonna
Keepers
say
headquarters.
I am.
You're closer to the Keepers, yeah.
so I'll go to them. That makes more sense.
Okay. So you show up on the Keepers campus. It's weird because like it's like a military college. Like it's a military school essentially. So like kids are going to class. Like there's like 18, 20 somethings going to classes. Also some of them doing PT like that like. They have like t-shirts and jogging shorts on. They're all like running in a line through the
They're
fucking
chanting,
quad.
you
Yeah,
know.
exactly. They're,
I don't know, but I'm yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Fuck skeletons. Whatever runs with that.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know what rhymes with muck skeletons.
yeah.
Muck pelicans? I don't know.
Susan.
So it takes you because you don't actually know what Tessa does during the
Yeah.
day. I don't know what does Tessa do during the day for the Keepers.
Walks around looking inspiring.
I guess
and,
so. Yeah,
Is it in middle school?
public speaking engagements.
it's true. Yeah, they've had, yeah,
Training.
I guess today. Yeah. I would imagine you take.
I
you
do
take part
physical
in training.
training,
Yeah.
you know.
So like Tessa's doing like not really a self defense. That seems pedantic for like a military college. Like she's doing like straight up like tactics training, talking about situations and stuff. And so like you ask around like, hey, where does you realize like, oh man, what does Tessa do during the day? And you like go to the registrar. You're like, I want to see like Tessa Blackmore, and they're like, yeah, we're sure you do. And you're like, no, I'm her like I'm legitimately her friend. We do stuff on the weekend. And they're like, eventually you convince them.
We're
they're like,
vigilante brothers.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
But
So-
hey, let me interject. They don't let her teach very many classes.
Yeah.
Because the kids in the classes don't learn much because they're like,
Oh my god.
oh my god, it says a black art.
Yeah.
You know, and so it's just they just trot her out so that the kid can
Yeah, you're
go
like a-
home and
yeah.
say that they took a
Yeah,
class.
like you're a
from Tessa
special
Blackmore.
occasion,
And it's
like
just
adjunct.
one more infuriating uselessness in Tessa's life.
Right. Okay. So finally they're like, oh, like yeah, she's teaching class over here, and so Seer comes up on Tessa. What does Tessa teach during her class?
Tessa right now is teaching.
How to fly and plate.
Is
How to murder men in their
You
apartments.
have all the fancy plate.
Tessa is teaching defense against. Let's see.
I was trying not to
Dark
say
arts.
it. Yeah.
She's teaching defense against the dark arts.
Sweet.
It makes total sense.
It does. It so does.
but it's actually like Like if
It's like physical defense against the.
If the vampire comes to bite your neck, you put your fingers up his nose.
Yeah,
and
you're like.
We need to stop using copyrighted material.
Listen, fuck you, J.K. Rowling. Come for me.
No.
but like literally, the kids are not. They're not. They're just part way there.
Right. So when you come in, I've got this great image in my head of like Tessa's at the front of the class, and she has the guy who's in all the padding. Like, and so like he's like roar, and then Tessa like fucking throws him. He's like, oh god, why?
Remember, if you're attacked
Worst
from
job
behind,
ever.
Yeah, if you're
sit.
attacked by the behind vampire, grab him by the head. He's like, no, wham! He just like slams him into a mat.
And you never caught make it easier. Like you always go full force.
Yeah,
Right.
every time.
Right,
You
every
don't know how
time.
to gauge back.
Because he needs to toughen up.
Yeah.
Worst job.
Why would I
And
hold
so,
back?
so the class, like you see Seer walking through the.
Like miscongeniality.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you.
What is it? Solar plexus, instep, knee, groin.
No.
So you see, like, it's kind of in, like, it's not, like, in a gymnasium, but you know how they'll, like, section up a gymnasium for classes at college and everything. So you walk in, you see Seer walk in. It's pretty obvious it's Seer.
Right.
Like,
I'll give her the nod and just kind of, like, look towards a bench or something and asks,
So your class
hang out.
goes well for everybody who's not that guy. And everyone's filing out and everything. So
Okay. Hey, what's up? They let you in?
Yeah.
Oh.
I told them I was your friend. and
Hope
let me
they didn't make it weird.
in. Kind of. It's fine.
Okay.
Everything's fine.
Is it?
says the puffed up bird.
No. Very all feathers pulled so tight to my body because I'm trying to make myself
that
as
little owl that
small
turns
and
into
unnoticeable
the
as
crazy
possible.
skinny Batman?
Yeah, a couple more fines and you'll be Andrew levels of unconvincing.
We're not going for angry turkey. We're going for vampire owl.
Right, because birds get really puffed up when they want to look big and intimidating or when they feel like they can scare off the predator. But then when they're just trying to fucking hide, all of their feathers go shoot! And they're just like... So I am the smallest you have ever seen me because all of my feathers have been sucked so close to my body.
Huh.
And I'm just like, I need you to help me get a thing.
Tiny precious bird.
Okay. Are you sure everything's okay?
Yeah, it's fine. I just need you to help me get this thing.
All right. Let's
You explain. Well, okay.
Let's
You probably
go to-
don't explain the situation.
Yeah, I think she has explicitly not explained right now.
let's go to my quarters. I imagine I don't have an office.
No.
They don't give me an office. Let's just go to my.
Your office is the streets.
You've literally,
No,
you've literally
it's
never
not.
filled out a piece of paperwork in your life.
Right.
Like,
Let's go someplace quiet.
Okay.
cool. What does Tessa's quarters look like?
Very Spartan.
Okay. Makes sense.
The Spartanist.
Mhm.
Everything is made and neat and military shipshape fashion.
Right.
There are no mirrors. There are only more posters.
There are no
a wall
posters.
size version of
Not
a
a
poster.
single-
There are no posters in Tessa's room.
It's actually a wall size version that I blew up and hung there and signed with your signature.
And as I walk in, I will rip it off the wall. Tessa hates those goddamn posters.
That's fair. That's fair. Okay. So yeah, go for it.
So I have a new job.
I'm glad that you have a new job instead of having being dead.
Yeah, it's much better.
I can't believe you went to work today.
I'm pretty sure not showing up would have been worse.
Okay. So what's the new job?
I'm a procurer.
You're an errand boy.
It sounds like me making up a title at work. Like-
Still better than being dead. Are you sure you need to keep working there?
Yes.
That was made clear.
Are you gonna tell me the whole thing?
No.
No.
Gonna make it hard.
What are you going to tell her?
That I have a new job.
Mhm.
She can definitely pick up on the fact that I didn't want this new job,
Yeah.
and it was just given to me, and that it is very necessary that I complete this job.
Okay. You're gonna at some point
Tell her what the job is.
No, I'll tell
Yeah.
her I'll tell her I need to get this item, and I say it's lot
Cool.
39452.
That doesn't make any sense because the archives are a library.
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense because the archives are a
Like,
library.
they don't keep physical objects. Like, it's not. So the way, like, having. This sounds like a vault. The archives is literally, like, on the other side of campus, and it's a fucking library.
So you use, I guess, the Dewey Decimal System instead or something? Like.
Fantasy Dewey Decimals, yes. We
Yeah.
use
So this is not a book, and therefore there probably is some other collection that the keepers have that maybe they've been keeping you in the dark of.
That's a
So.
possibility.
But I need your help getting this thing.
Okay, let me. Did they give you a timeline? Friday. All right. Let me find out what I can find out from here, and I will get back to you tomorrow.
Yeah, yeah, that's fine.
And hey, I don't think you should keep working there.
Thanks, Mom.
Oh, shit!
So much for bonding as teenagers. Jeez.
Seer's
didn't-
really stressed right now, guys.
I did not hatch your egg. Right. Maybe you should consider being nicer to somebody who's gonna do you this big favor, Seer.
All right, good. Sweet.
Silent
Love it.
treatment.
Yeah, okay, cool. So.
Well, I don't really want to apologize, but I don't want to make it worse.
Always make it worse.
It's one of our things.
It's in the
No.
rule.
I really need her help.
That's fair. Okay. So I'll pause Seer for a bit. Tessa, what do you do with this new info?
Okay. Well, no, there's no reason to go to Mother Knowledge. I'm just gonna go to the library.
Okay.
And
Like it's not like a rinky-dink library, but like you've never known for like this idea like lot whatever. Like it just doesn't. It does not gel with like your experience because you've definitely been to the archives.
right.
Like, the archives is just a very fancy name for like it's a good library. It's old because the keepers are old, but it's not
Did they-
crazy.
Did they specifically say it was in the archive?
He said the archives.
The archives.
Mhm.
Okay. And it had this catalog number.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to
I'm
go-
glad you also just picked up on the fact that you shouldn't ask what's in this. What this object actually is.
No. I don't want to know.
I'm going to go to the archive. And do I know anybody that works there? I mean, they all know me, but do I have a working relationship with anybody who works in the archive?
Do you?
I mean, I would like to.
Okay.
Tessa's not real personable one-on-one.
We've not noticed.
Suck a dick.
Okay, so yeah, let's say
Someone's gonna die, and it's actually not gonna.
if
be
you knew somebody at the archive, how
But
would you
you're
know
gonna
them?
be
What
the
was your
murderer.
what would your relationship be?
Not in this case.
You always are.
If I knew somebody at the
Not always the
archive,
murderer. He murdered someone. I
A
never murdered anyone.
nameless mook in a
if I
hallway.
knew somebody at the archive, they would be a
I saw-
former teacher of mine.
Okay.
From my first days in the keepers. So just a teacher that I had some rapport with, and then when they retired from teaching, they went and they became a librarian.
Okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Maybe they taught history. That probably would make sense.
Right.
Like this art, they are in fact an archivist and not a librarian.
Right.
basically. Okay. They are Kiva Thorin.
Kiva Thorin.
Yeah. They are an older goblin lady. So like she's got like an office in the archive. She's not like a. Probably the closest she would be a reference librarian, but no one ever comes and asks her any questions. Like she facilitates like archiving stuff, keeping things in order, like literally doing database work. Like
Right. Okay.
Okay. But yeah, you come see Kiva. She has an office. Like she's so.
Sure. Kiva, how are you?
Tessa, how are you doing?
I'm as well as can
He's
be
been practicing his
expected.
voice.
Nope. Speed it up. It's like Goblin Lady would be fun. I'm sorry. What did you say?
I'm as well as can be expected. Thank you.
Dang.
Congenial as ever.
Ice cold. Jesus.
Why's everyone gotta be a fucking dick today?
I haven't been yet.
It's what happens when you quote murder a dude end quote. So I'm sorry. I had my feet in your chair and I'm sorry.
You're okay. I'm not in the scene. It's fine.
I've never really delved into what we have here in the archives before. And I'm wondering is everything that's here a paper document? Or are there other items like an evidence locker or something like that?
Well, and so she's like still a little confused by the question because she's like, well, you did go to college, right? Like, I definitely remember teaching you.
Did it ever come up in class?
Not really, no.
Okay.
It's like one of those things where it's like everyone just sort of campus library. It's a campus library. It's got books, I guess. Like that's so. But she's like, well, we don't typically keep evidence lockers. That would be more that would be more of like the field teams. If you pick something up with a case or something, something
like artifacts or things like that.
I mean, we're not really in the business. Like we've never really been in the business of keeping artifacts per se. Typically, we
You're called
What exactly do we?
Mary said, but we're called the keepers.
Yeah.
What do we keep? Existential crisis.
The veil between the living and the dead.
Right.
Yeah, that's what
Okay.
you keep. You just call the keepers for short.
Founded by
I mean,
elves.
typically we're not big on keeping around because artifacts that we would recover from the field or from missions are typically not the best stuff.
Right.
So we'll catalog it for a short period of time as evidence, but in the end we destroy. I would say we destroy everything that has any sort of real potential. Anything that's like an actual, like has any sort of like arcane or magical energy, we would want to destroy, so it wouldn't be useful anymore. Think maybe we do have some. Look, we have some books that recovered from necromantic stores and things like that. We don't typically let those out to you don't check those out from the shelf or anything. But they're not they are not dangerous unto them. Like they're not going to animate and come to life.
Right.
We do destroy the ones that do.
Okay, so what was it about the catalog number? It just didn't seem like it fit in the rest
39452.
It's not called catalog number. It's lot number.
Lot number.
He specifically said lot number 394. Like it's like maybe like that doesn't seem like it. Like we're going to assume they use the Fantasy Dewey Decimal System here.
Right.
So it doesn't sound like like you can tell her that number and I'll straight up tell you she's gonna be like that doesn't fit anything.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, I'll just show it to her. Somebody suggested this.
Oh, I don't.
There we go. Yeah, you nailed it. You got it.
I don't recognize. I mean, it's so to lay it out. I'm not. don't think I'm trying to be patronizing to you, Tessa, but I'm assuming that you haven't like memorized the Dewey Decimal System. This is like a the way this is laid out. It's this is a fictional biology book about by an author with a last name that starts with a W. It's not it's just not a.
It doesn't fit. So
it's not a thing, really.
So you're...
They may be... you may want to go back and talk to your friend. Maybe they've got something confused because maybe they're looking for like a natural science book and they've written down a number down incorrectly or something like this. But I'm more than happy to help you find books or research something that you're working on. I think maybe they gave you the wrong number.
Okay, so there's nowhere in this archive where you keep things in lots?
No, we have the sort of the we have books and like records that we've recovered from scenes. They're not. We don't keep any spell books. We don't. Usually they're just like diaries from people, so we can keep. We can build So it helps us build profiles to hunt down people who are trying to commit these sorts of acts. But we don't. Huh. They have their own section, but it's not really a lot number.
Okay, thank you so much.
No worries. Feel free to come by more often.
Sure.
Yeah.
It was great to see you.
She like reaches out her like weird little wrinkly goblin hands, and takes your hands.
That's great.
That's great.
Okay, so all right, back out here in the archive. I'm gonna take just a minute and I'm gonna think about where in the archive I've been before.
I fucking forgot a thing.
What?
Let's rewind a thing.
Okay.
So, but I mean, I really am more, like, I don't read everything. Like, I'm a historian by trade, but I don't necessarily read everything. Like, I
found the wrong
do
specialist.
more, I do more organizational work
specialist
anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You may want to, I would say you would want to talk with one of our more of the head archivists. They would probably, you might need to make an appointment with them, but you probably talk with Weston. Weston Deering. He may be able to help you out more. He may be able to figure out what book you're talking about. I don't know everything that we've got here. I'm more like, we need to put this big stack of things in this place.
Is Weston not already a name?
I'm gonna definitely reuse names, guys.
In your experience,
There are multiple
Kiva,
Johns.
there's nothing in this archive that isn't a book.
Weston was the name of the driver of that limo.
Thank you.
No worries.
All right.
Yep.
So
Okay, there we go. Sorry, I meant to give you that, and then I just
it's
spaced.
okay.
The limo driver was not Walker, it was Weston.
Or was it?
Yeah.
Well, he's dead now. Who cares?
Wait, what?
No, object permanence doesn't exist.
When did he die?
When
He
I'm
walked off screen.
when I'm out of her office, before I go
He
see
went
if
to
I
college
can.
and never came back next.
I just wanted to make sure there wasn't a link between the two. I am so sorry.
No, it's fine.
Listen,
Before-
let's just be a little less shitty up in here.
Before I go see if I can make an appointment, I'm just gonna think for a minute, which is not Tessa's strong suit, of course, about where I have been in this archive and whether there are, say, doors that say
There's definitely
only,
there
or-
definitely are. And your understanding is that's where they keep like what she was talking about, like things they've recovered from crime scenes that help the section that Cora worked for that did more like intelligence gathering or profile building work. Because you guys are essentially like kind of three. You're like it's a 3-pronged system. So you're part of like kind of the more like strike force.
Okay.
And then there's like an intelligence gathering arm, and then like more of a public relations arm too.
Okay. Well, I'm just gonna go there.
Okay.
I'm gonna go there.
I mean, the door's locked.
Okay. Is there anyone that is? I mean, does it have a sign on it like
It says,
come
like,
back during hours or?
No, like the door to the section is locked. And it's see an attendant for the key. Like
Okay.
Yeah.
Where's an attendant?
Yeah, it's just like front desk.
Okay.
Frankly, anyone else probably have to need to like sweet talk their way into the room, but you're Tessa Blackmore.
I'd like to
so they assume,
use that.
So
yes.
what are you? What's your excuse for trying to get into this room?
Research. into enemy tactics.
Yeah, sure. That seemed believable.
Actually,
It's pretty fucking believable.
Listen, the story itself is believable, not the research into enemy tactics. Enemy tactics.
I have better charisma. I mean,
I know.
Tessa Blackmore has better charisma than Shannon does. So
That's fair. That's fair.
it's true.
So yeah, they get up,
That's
they
why she's on
they
the
unlock the
posters.
door and let you in. They're like, yeah, if you need
why they have
anything, just give us a shout, Miss
Already
Blackmore.
working on
We'll,
blowing another one up.
Yeah, I don't really know much in here. It's got its own card catalog though, so
Okay.
you'll need to be, don't we file these completely different.
I'll try not to.
so.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So go to the card catalog. Is it organized in lots?
No, it just kind of is more of like a description of if you want. It doesn't seem like it's organized into journals and case reports essentially.
Mm-hmm.
And the and then arranged by the names of whoever that belonged to.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not lot numbers. It's alphabetical. It's divided into two categories essentially because that's all that they keep. So it's case
So
reports,
none of it
journals.
matches.
Not what you're looking for, but there's still stuff here. So
Okay. Well, so nothing in here matches the coding on this thing.
No.
Right. Crap. All right. I'm very little brain.
Very little brain.
I'm gonna try to roll investigation. See if there's anything in here that is useful.
Before you roll, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Investigating.
I'm investigating,
How are
Brian.
you investigating?
Jesus.
With my investigating feet.
When you walk into a room and you investigate.
Well, I'm gonna look for anything that. Well, how do I put this without sounding like an idiot? Because I'm already an idiot.
Just go for it.
Yep.
Maybe this is written down wrong. Maybe lot number isn't part of it. Maybe something else fits.
Okay, yeah, because Wyatt's not a keeper, so maybe
Right.
So yeah, go for it.
Okay. 10. Straight up 10. 10.
Straight up 10. Okay.
10.
So it takes you a while.
Uh-huh.
You're literally going through you go through both card catalogs and it takes you half an hour of just you're getting very frustrated because this is not a Tessa Blackmore activity. But you do find a case number that matches that number.
Okay.
So
Let's go look at that.
Hold on a second. I've got to open a different file that I didn't think to open. We'll assume you're looking through papers.
I am wrestling through papers, getting paper cuts, getting annoyed,
Thank you.
wanting to hit something, not able to hit something.
it's a very frustrating day.
It is. It's not my finest hour.
Tessa Blackmore is
I'd-
very bad.
I'd rather be
No
killing
good.
undead. Some people have that bumper sticker that says, "I'd rather be fishing." Tessa says, "I'd
So
rather be
you go
smiting."
through, and it's basically it's the store. It's weird and serendipitous, but you've actually read this file before.
Is it?
It's one of the ones that I had given you. Specifically, it's the one about I's dad. You didn't read it quite you were sitting in a coffee shop before, so you didn't go 100% through it. And now that you're oh, this maybe matches up to a thing, you're paying a lot more attention to it. You're not necessarily you're reading the actual case details, not the differences between the thing that you had read.
Okay.
It seems like now that you're reading it, it was legitimately a very dangerous mission. Maybe the team wasn't. It's things that you already thought. Maybe the team was intentionally not as robust enough to actually handle what was going on, that sort of thing. But this case file is been censored, and an old way back in a similar way to the file that I gave you, but in a way that every time they broke into a group of necromancers who had an object, and you don't know what the object is because every time they're like the big black line.
So it refers to an object.
Yes.
Okay. Huh. But
and you know it was recovered.
Yeah. But I's file that she gave me also had that part redacted.
Yeah, it didn't. It was you weren't really paying attention to it before because you were like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
Before, but now you're like paying attention. It's just like the object, like was recovered and taken to blah and given to blah. Like it's just like a lot of redactions. Like maybe as like maybe not necessarily. This is intentional to hide what the object was, and it maybe is more of like a bookkeeping, like as a the keepers do a pretty decent job of trying not to like be like writing guides on how to fucking raise the dead. You know what I mean? So.
Right. Okay. So it's reasonable to say that it's possible that there is an item someplace. It's reasonable that it's possible.
But there's an item.
There's an item somewhere. Okay, great. On my way out, I am going to go ahead and make that appointment with Weston.
Okay.
When
Weston can't see you today, but he'll probably see you Wednesday.
Super. Let's go ahead and pencil that in. Thank you so much.
No problem, Miss Blackmore.
It's my pleasure to serve.
Is there anything else I can do for you today?
No, that's great. Thank you.
All right, we'll have an awesome day. don't make me like into customer service mode.